So today, on day one, I'm going to teach you guys how to make some dumbbells. Now, I know what you're thinking. We're not going to go get some milk cartons. Well, we're going to get some milk cartons, but we're not going to fill them with sand, and we're not going to do this and make sand go everywhere when we put them down too hard. Because when you're lifting, you get tired, you just want to throw those weights down. Now, we're going to make some really awesome weights that actually look cool and aren't like ghetto style. Okay, because when I grew up, it was the weights that everybody had that I didn't have. Okay, so we couldn't afford those things. So if you can't afford going out and buying some weights, that's totally fine. For our program, we're gonna make weights, we're gonna make a ladder, we're gonna make some really cool things that are gonna help you so that you can work out and be your best this season. So the first step to building dumbbells, okay? First off, we gotta go get the stuff. So yeah, it takes a little bit of time. We're gonna have to drive to the store. We're gonna have to get through traffic. I know Kelowna traffic sucks, and wherever you are, it probably sucks. Okay, but we gotta make a little bit of effort to be put into any kind of results. Okay, nobody out there with big, huge muscles, natural muscles, hasn't put in a little bit of time and effort so that you can use these things for years. All right, so we're on our way to Home Hardware. We're gonna pick up some materials there. We're gonna get some cement mix. We're gonna get some conduit piping to make our handle. We're gonna get some good stuff. We're gonna get some duct tape. So all of the equipment we need, all you need is your journal. You write these things down in your journal. I'm gonna give you a list at the end of this. And make sure you get everything because you don't want to have to go back. I'm actually heading to the one on the west side because my good buddy Steve Carruthers, who's going to help with the building of our facility, owns the Home Hardware. So him and his wife bought that a few years ago. So we're heading to the old school Home Hardware on the west side. Well, it's in West Bank really, but I want to call it the west side because then it doesn't feel like I'm driving so far. But if you can't get over there, get to your nearest hardware store. You can get this stuff pretty much anywhere. It's pretty fun. It's a good fun activity to do, especially if you're summertime and it's as foggy as it is outside. You can't really be outside. Get inside, make your dumbbells, and you'll have them for a while. So about 15 minutes there, 15 minutes back. It's gonna take me about 10-15 minutes in the store, so 45-minute burn to get this equipment. That's 45 minutes of your life that you definitely will not get back, but you will remember. Alright, so Home Hardware is kind of hard to find. It's in West Bank. It's kind of by the Buck or Two, the new Buck or Two, the Save On Foods, as you can see right here, just driving by, and the Home Hardware is just right next to it. I don't know if you can see that right now, but just driving by here. We're gonna find a parking spot, we're gonna get our stuff ready, get our notebook out, get everything ready, get in there and try to find Steve. Steve's not around, we're gonna buy it anyways. We're not gonna waste no time. We wanna get this. So we're here with Steve Carruthers. He's the owner of Home Hardware on the west side, or West Bank?
West Kelowna, West Side, West Bank,
West
whatever
side.
you want.
Easier to get to, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's gonna show us where the conduit is.
Follow me.
Awesome. So the middle of the store. What aisle are we going to?
We're gonna go to aisle 20, hit the sidewall. And I think actually instead of using a gray conduit, we're gonna use a copper pipe.
Okay.
So this is 3/4 inch copper pipe. We sell it by the foot, and we can cut it in the store for you to whatever lengths you need.
Nice. So it'll be perfect for making dumbbells.
You bet.
Awesome. They're going to show us where the duct tape is.
You bet.
So what made you get into owning a hardware store?
Well, because I'm a volleyball player, I figured it was a great way for me to get all my equipment for setting up my nets, making lines. We've supplied all the hardware for center of gravity for the last couple of years.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's why those courts are just pristine.
Perfect, right?
Yeah.
All because of Steve.
So we got lots of duct tape here. We got blue, green, orange, red, black, white, gray, and I don't know what we're gonna get, but we're gonna get it here.
We're gonna head outside and get some concrete It only comes in big bags, he tells me.
Yeah, but it mixes down to not a huge amount, but it's not very expensive. It's only like $6 or $7 a bag.
Nice. So you can make like a bench press as well.
We got to keep it under ice so it doesn't get wet.
Cool.
But it's simple. You just mix it with water and let it cure.
Oh, he works out.
Yeah, this is...
All right, so we're all done getting the conduit, the cement, and the duct tape. Steve, what a rad guy. He gave it that actually on the house, so it didn't cost me anything, but he told me that it wouldn't cost more than 20 bucks for all of that stuff right there. You could probably make 2 or 3 as well. So that's pretty awesome. All right, so we've arrived. We've got it all. We've got it set. We're going to head out back in the house. We're going to get some tools, get some gloves on, get some safety. Hey, if you're underage and this is not something you've ever done before, ask your mom, ask your dad. It's a great activity for you guys to do together. See you out back. All right, so we're set up in my garage. So we have a little workspace in here. As you can see, it's pretty rustic, if you may. But we have everything that we need to set up. So you want to start with having everything so you don't have to leave and come back and leave and back. You just want to get her done. So the first thing that you want to make sure that you have is you want to make sure you have a felt pen. Felt pens, you can mark and draw. My dad used to always say, you got to measure twice, cut once. Okay, we want to make sure we do that so we don't waste a whole bunch of materials. Okay, so we have our felt pen. That's key. Okay, second things that you want to have is something to cut with. So you can use a Cutco knife. These are beautiful, very expensive, but they work really nicely. Okay, any sort of knife will work. This right here, we've got Kumi's scissors that I stole from Vancouver. I have no idea how they ended up there, but somehow I have them. But they'll work perfect for cutting these bottles up. Okay, third thing is if you're not going to mix the cement in the bottle, which we're going to attempt kind of both ways here, you want something to stir the cement, and then you want something to put the cement in. So we're going to try to mix without this and try to make the less mess that we can do. And then you need water, so I actually chose some water bottles. So as I was shopping, I went, milk, yes, like to drink, but will take me forever to drink. So I bought some water bottles, and we're going to actually use that water. I've already dumped it into here to mix the cement so we can make it nice, no mess. We don't want to make too much of a mess here. We don't want our parents getting mad at us for making too big. Okay, so step 2, we want to take our bottle and we want to measure off our most equal part. Now, yes, I could use a measuring tape and be all perfect, and I tell you right now, my dad and my husband will be happy for me to be doing that, but we're gonna do it Tammy style. We're gonna roughly measure it. I don't want to take forever making these things. So we're going to take the felt pen. We're going to kind of mark off where we think this part, we don't really want to use this part. So we're going to kind of mark around it where we might cut it off. Okay, so somewhere around there, we're going to cut that off of the end. See that right there? Okay, now roughly in the middle of this, what I can do is I can actually count these little things to get our middle line. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we want 6 on each side. So that's kind of perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So then we're going to draw our line right in the middle. Okay, so that's roughly going to create the same weight. So because we want to have the same weight on each side, that's how we do it. Now, if we wanted to do a lighter weight, so if this ends up being too heavy, okay, we might take off some of these. So I'm going to kind of draw a little line here so that it's not the same line, so I know that that is the potential cutoff line. Okay, so let's take 2 off on this side as well. Okay, so we have that fast, messy line. Okay, so as you can see, that will create less weight because we have less of the space. So we want to measure off how much weight that we're going to do. I will help you guys give you these measurements to give you different weights so you don't have to do that yourself and waste a whole bunch of material. Okay, so if you've never cut a bottle before, the best way to actually do it is to puncture it first and then stick your sharp material in. Otherwise you could slip and actually cut yourself. So we want safety first. So basically what you can do is if you just take a pen and you kind of puncture it, so it's going to take a little bit, maybe here. So there we go. Okay, so here we go, punctured it. And then we want to take the knife and we want to kind of get it in there. So there you go, or the scissors, sorry. The scissors here, so they're just going to cut nicely there. And you can kind of get a pretty straight line. It's not too essential if this is perfect. Okay, so we can always trim the edges if we want to make it look nice. But again, I don't want to take forever doing this. I want to just get her done. Okay, so that's our first one cut there. And we're going to basically cut along just this last line. All right, so now we have our dumbbell molds, okay? So, but one end is got a bottom, the other end doesn't. So what we have to end up doing is we want to take our duct tape. Okay, so we've got our duct tape somewhere here. Here we go. Okay, so we've got our duct tape. We'll find that edge is sometimes the hardest part about tape. It's like Christmas wrapping. Damn Scotch tape just never gets it. Okay, so we've got our end here. Now we want to kind of create a closure on one of the sides here. So basically what you can do is you can just take like a piece here, you're going to measure it off. Again, just do this rough. We don't want to, again, we're not taking forever to do this. Alright, we're going to move on. So we're going to move on to the mixing of the cement, okay? So what we want to do is you want to take some water, you want to put it in, then you want to add in the cement mixture, okay? So we've cut a hole in the bag here, and basically I've started off a little bit, just to make sure that this is going to work the way that I want it to. So I've already kind of mixed a bit in. It's two exact mixtures, but I like to just get my consistency the way that it should be, and then yeah, let it sit and let it do its thing. So we're gonna add a little bit more. Feel like it's getting close. Probably still needs another. Pretty close. It's getting pretty heavy too. So again, if you feel like it's getting too heavy, you can always cut a piece off. You can go, okay, that's enough. Add in the rest of your cement. Make sure it's thick, and then just cut off the top and make it a little bit smaller than it originally was. That's always totally fine. Okay, so I think I've got the desired weight that I'm looking for. Okay, so it's actually a little bit smaller than I was originally planned, but I wanted to make a little lighter weights, okay? So we're going with this, and we're going to now just take the conduit, and we're going to kind of squeeze it on all the way down. We want to get it all the way to the bottom. Okay, so we've got it to the bottom now. I want to make sure it's as much in the middle as I can. Okay, now again, this is a homemade weight. It's not going to be exactly the way, you know, exactly in the middle of your circumference and like perfect, because I can't even say that word really. So we're not going to worry about that. We're just going to make sure it's as level as possible. Okay, now that's kind of important so that your weight's not like going sideways. So now we basically wait. Patience is a virtue. Not something I'm always very good at, but it's a virtue. So we'll wait. I'm going to see how long it'll take. Hopefully we can get the other side on and then let it sit for a day before using them. I just woke up. Let's go check and see if it's done. So Will told me that as the cement is hardening, it off-gases, so you should always put it outside. So what I did is I actually just put it in my mom's trailer, which has got the windows open. So we can go check and see if it's done. All right, let's do the test. Oh yeah, it's ready to go. Let's get to the workshop. All right, so now we're ready for the next phase. Will had suggested that we get some sand into here. So I originally had a cone, but I realized that cone is probably going to be too small. So I'm just going to do it old school. Use my hand, make a little bit of a mess. It's just sand, so it'll be okay. We're getting it in there nice. We want to kind of pack it tight. We don't want it to be loose, otherwise you'll feel that when you're lifting. This will add a little bit of weight too, so if you're worried about it being, if it maybe wasn't going to be heavy enough. Now, so when I top this over, I want to make sure that it doesn't get into my cement when I make it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some of that duct tape that we have. I'm going to tape over it so that we don't get that kind of mess. I don't want to be there too much to eat. So I'm just going to do one of those. Okay, so now we're going to make our cement. So again, remember we did it with cement first once and that didn't work out, so I'm going to do it with water this time first. And I want to go with a little bit at a time. I want to kind of make a little bit at a time, otherwise it's really hard to mix. So there we go, my cement. I put the cement outside because I didn't want it to create too much gas in here. I'm going to mix her up. Okay, much the same like we did. Keep mixing. So that looks pretty good there. Now, I want to kind of do the same amount that I did on the other side so that I don't have, again, an unequal weight on each side. So the more equal that you can make it, the better. Okay, so now comes a little bit of a tricky part here. So when we're flipping this one over, again, we want to make sure there's nothing going to go into my mixture. I mean, it's not a huge deal, it's cement. You can pretty much freeze anything in it. So now we're going to just take it and we're going to stick her all the way down. We're going to try to get it to the bottom. It's going to be harder this time because it's not empty. So that means it's going to just take a bit of wiggling to get in there. Wiggle it all the way down as far as you can. When you get to the bottom, it's pretty hard to tell when you get to that bottom, but you will feel it. Oh, and I think we're pretty much there. Yeah, I can feel it hitting there. So, okay, so we got her in there. Now we want to make sure she's in the middle. I guess it's a she. Okay, so once we kind of find that spot that we want it to be in, okay, so I just want to make sure it's at the bottom. Okay, so I get her there, I'm going to just keep her there. So I have to hold it for 24 hours. No, don't do that, that's nuts. So basically you can just find a spot outside. Maybe a really good spot is like against the wall so that it kind of holds it level. Again, these are old school weights. If it's not completely straight, it's not a big deal. But we do want to make sure that it gets as straight as possible so it's not like leaning over. So we're gonna get there. Now, this is the crucial part. Since we're doing this in the morning, we can wait a few hours and it's gonna kind of get solid. And then we can draw a weight. So this is going to be probably about 10 pounds. Okay, so I might draw 10-ish on it just for fun. But I'm going to also draw my initials because that's always the fun part about making cement. Alright, we're going outside. Alright, so it's 3 p.m. and I want to check my molds. I just got to see it. I'm sure that you are just as impatient as I am and want to see whether or not these turned out the way that they're supposed to. So we're going to go outside right now. Alright, so I'm outside. I'm going to look at my molds just to see if they're kind of done. I just want to check them. The way you can check them is you can kind of feel around the bottom part. So I'm going to show you here. So I kind of put mine down here, as you can see. Okay, so they're just kind of, it's hanging out. So now I'm just gonna check this, and I can do that by just kind of doing one of these, and then I'm gonna kind of see if this moves. Oh, it looks pretty good. I'm gonna, oh yeah, still a little twisty, so I'm gonna have to wait a few more hours to get it ready, but after we're done this, we're gonna move on to decorating it so that it doesn't look so ghetto. Alright, so we're here to check it one last time. It's gotta be done. It's been like 10 hours at least. So we're gonna check her. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We got her done. Let's go decorate. Okay, so we have our weight, as you can see. It's pretty good. This is a pretty darn good weight for lifting, okay? So it's probably about 8 to 10 pound weight. That's all you really need to build power and muscle for the workouts that we're doing. If you want to go heavier, if you're a guy and you want to go much heavier, I suggest buying weights. If you build heavy weights and they don't work out and they fall, you can really hurt yourself. So with these smaller weights that we've got here, okay, we want to make them look a little nicer, and I recommend buying a colored duct tape. We went with this one just because that's what got sponsored, but if we go with like a colored one, we could probably get a little bit more funk to it. But I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna draw stuff on it, and I'm gonna write motivational sayings all over it, because I know that that will be pretty darn cool. So all I'm gonna do is wrap the ends in this, and we're gonna keep the plastic on. That's gonna help create a cushion on the bottom for when you're using it inside your house. Alright, so with my weight, I want to actually put on how much it weighs. So for me, I believe it's somewhere around 8 to 10 pounds. So I'm going to write 8-pound weights just so that I can kind of know that much. So I'm going to kind of draw a little square. And I'm going to put 8 pounds. Okay, so just like that, you can see. Alright, so I'm going to draw it on the other side too, just for fun. Now get creative with your rates. I'm giving out stars. Creative weights will get you massive brownie points. So things like, I want to write on it. Like, I want to give myself motivation, so I'm going to write killing it. I'm going to write you rock. And things like that on it, so that I can just always look, when I'm looking, I'll be like, killing it, you rock, oh yeah, things like, oh yeah, that one's going on there. Be creative with this, have fun, make it colorful. These are boring ones compared to what they can be, but I know that you have creativity in you and you can do a wicked job with these. Send me a photo, bonus star for the best one. Maybe I'll just give bonus stars to anyone that actually does this and makes it and shows me some photos, maybe some video of it. For sure you'll get a star for that. Have fun with it.
At the club, then I said what's up. I took her to the crib, and you know I ayy, stink on pills.
Now, we also need to stay healthy. So to stay healthy, we can't just work out, we can't just go hard. We've got to fit in some yoga. So Uva is going to help me demonstrate the Shavasana pose that we're going to be using for yoga. As you can see, Uva is completely stretched out. She's breathing nicely. She's hopefully breathing deep through her belly. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go take a yoga class. Usually your first class is free. They'll get you in there. They'll teach you some of the yoga techniques for breathing and all those really good things. And if you can't get into yoga at all, it's just not your thing, you can't make time for it, that's totally fine. I'm going to help you through some of those steps through the program. Uva, Chili, they will help us describe these things. Good girl, Uva.
Yeah, yeah.